Hey guys, today I am doing a couple caricatures, and I'll get to that in a second. It is September 15th, 2018, 7:29 p.m. It is a Saturday. Taking tonight off. I'm gonna watch a movie maybe, but I'm out of ice cream. What am I gonna do? I thought this cartoon would be a super duper quick one today, because I thought I'm just gonna draw two heads, and then I ended up spending nearly 3 hours on it. You're gonna watch me draw. You are about to watch me draw, redraw, and redraw several horrible caricatures. I didn't expect the rough part here to be decent caricatures. I just kind of went the template of where I was gonna go, where everything needed to be placed. And the one thing with this one, I thought, okay, this is a viewpoint. You know, this is a political cartoon. I know it's like saying one guy's nice, one guy's just really creepy. But then I thought that kind of like illustrates the entire situation. That is what the Republicans are battling here. They are battling a personality with someone like Ted Cruz. I mean, Ted Cruz is the kind of guy that you don't want in your house. I mean, he's just despicable. I mean, Lindsey Graham, a Republican, said that if Ted Cruz was shot and murdered in the Senate, that the Senate wouldn't convict the killer. And Al Franken said that he likes Ted Cruz more than anyone else in the Senate, and he hates Ted Cruz. Nobody likes Ted Cruz. They don't. I saw a friend post on his Facebook today about someone in the media saying something about Ted Cruz being creepy. This is like on CNN or something, one of those round tables where people talking. He's like, this illustrates the bias in the media. Well, first off, it's a round table thing where people do have opinions. And yeah, Ted Cruz is just creepy. He's just condescending, looking down on people, just creepy guy. He has no principles, no ethics. I mean, he called Donald Trump a sniveling coward. Donald Trump had accused his father of being involved with killing JFK. He tweeted out all sorts of ugly attacks at his wife, and Ted Cruz called him a sniveling coward, and then now Ted Cruz is begging Trump to come to Texas and campaign for him. This is what kind of, and you think Texans would be like, man, assault your wife and your father, you wouldn't have anything to do with that guy. If anything, probably in Texas, you'd be required to kick his ass, but not kiss his ass. So Texans, why would you want to be represented by the likes of Ted Cruz? I know the other guy's a Democrat. Oh no, he's a Democrat. But if Ted Cruz ever did come to your house, you'd probably have a hard time selling the house. Probably be worse than like if you had ghosts in your house. You wouldn't put it on the listing Ted Cruz was here. In fact, if you did have ghosts in your house, you just get rid of them by inviting Ted Cruz. The ghosts will leave. Only thing then is you'd be stuck with Ted Cruz. I mean, the Amityville house would probably sell faster than the Ted Cruz house. And most people would prefer bleeding walls over having Ted Cruz in their house. I just kept drawing. Then I did a lot of pacing because it's like getting to the zone, think about what exactly where I need my head to be to get these caricatures. Because the thing is, I didn't want the caricatures to look like someone else drew them. And I was looking at photos of them, a bunch of them. And one thing about Beto, and I looked at a couple other caricatures, wondering about the hair, which side it was parted on. And it seems like everybody has it on the wrong side. But I looked at some photos, and Beto has changed what side he parts his hair. Unless there's a lot of like reverse photos out there. So I figured I'd go look at something recent. That was his interview on Colbert to see, okay, that was earlier this week. He probably hasn't changed what side he parts it this week. So let me go look at that. And this is the side that he parts it on. John Ted is a little bit easier. I had a hard time. The other thing was I didn't want Beto to be like too pretty. And like, oh, look how gorgeous this one guy is. So, and look how hideous the other one is. I knew, of course, the whole idea was Ted Cruz. was going to be creepier. I mean, you just put real photos of them next to each other. And one guy, you look at it and you go, oh, nice. And then one you go, ah! Yeah, cover the children's eyes! And I really, really just wanted to get this evil, smarmy grin of Ted Cruz. And, but I do want Beto to look too pretty. I'm not a big fan of the big heads and little body style of caricature. But when the whole cartoon is based upon that, on the face, you kind of go that way. It's such a European style now. And that's okay. There's some great artists working in Europe and political cartoons, but I really, really think American political cartoons are much better. We have a different style of writing and stuff. Yeah, like there's a difference between the cartoonists that work for alt papers and your general newspapers. Same thing with kind of like Europe. There's a different style, or any nation, whether you look, in the Middle East or Asia. I decided that these ears right there, they weren't really going to work. And it took forever with the smile too. But there's just a huge difference to me, like in the style of writing. I think I still change this grin. I'll change the nose a little bit. I'm going to give you some shout outs in a minute. We're going to have time for them. And I kept changing it. And of course, there's this 3 people that Cruz kind of looks like. One is Grandpa Munster. The other is Mr. Haney. I made someone Google him today. Just when I said it, they said I had to Google him. And Quagmire. And all 3 of those characters are more likable than Ted Cruz. I have a Facebook friend. I'm going to do the air quotes. Friend who loves Ted Cruz. I mean, just Ted Cruz. He loves Ted Cruz. And now you can't really use that as a barometer for people, because I'm sure there's a lot of disgusting, horrible people who don't like Ted Cruz. But if you meet someone who does like Ted Cruz, they're like, I'd vote for that guy. We need Ted Cruz as president. You can judge a lot by that person. That's definitely a person you don't want in your life at all. You don't want to be in business with them. You don't want to be in a relationship with them. You don't want anything. You don't want to sit down next to them at a bar and have a conversation. You just don't want to, because they got to be just a horrible person. They just support horrible shit and horrible people to do horrible things to good people. Just horrible. And Beto he still has a steep hill to climb. The odds are still in Ted Cruz's favor to win in Texas, because it's Texas. But Texas needs to realize that it deserves better than Ted Cruz. Even if it doesn't want to keep Beto in 6 years, it just should not be represented by a guy like Ted Cruz. And also they need to get rid of Ted Cruz, because it will really, really, really hurt his chances of ever running for president again. But then again, Donald Trump has probably also hurt those chances, because after Trump, we may not ever want another Republican. In the future, we get to say, yeah, Republicans, like Donald Trump. Alright, let's do some shout-outs. Shouty. Here we go. Kenta has not commented in a couple days, but maybe because of football season, she got things to do. More important than us. Ariel tells me she's rewatching Jurassic Park, The Lost World. Alright, the second one, I liked it. It was pretty cool. I saw that in Hawaii when it came out in '97, and it was I saw it on opening night, which was really stupid, but I didn't have anything else to do in Hawaii. I didn't really know anybody, so I went to see the movie. Wanted to see it, and there was a strike going on with the movie theaters, so they were protesting out front, and it was so packed we were jammed in there. You couldn't even get out to use the bathroom or anything. But I drank one of those giant Cokes, and it was the worst I had to pee in my life. And I swear to God, I was in Waikiki. I had to walk all the way back to my hotel room, like almost bent over, because I was in so much pain, had to pee so bad. And of course, I couldn't go inside any store or anything to use the restroom, because they don't let you do that. I had to get all the way back to my hotel room. Anyway, I don't know why that's interesting to me, but it's just like, I just remember it being the worst I ever had to urinate my entire life. and like they shove you out the back door of the movie. So it's like you can't walk through the lobby. They're just like, get out of here. We got your money. You saw the movie. Now leave. And I think everybody else in here is probably the same. But I got the bathroom. Because I couldn't have been the only one. Because anytime you leave the movie and it's over, you see that everybody makes a beeline to the bathroom. So I almost went in an alley. I swear. Alright, Eric also wants to know, where did you get your flute selling skill? Seems like a really esoteric niche. I don't know if I have any of those. My friend doesn't know anything about music, and it was a band instrument for his kid that has no interest in it anymore. And he thought if he got any money for it, it'd be cool. And I got more than we expected. I tried to sell it locally, and then I went and sold it online, nationally. We'll see how well my skills are. Hopefully they don't come back and say, we don't want this anymore, we want our money back. But so, we'll see. But anyway, he asked me to do it because, A, I play music. And so just from that starting point of playing music and having to deal with buying and selling gear over the years, I would know how to research something and know where to go and stuff more than he would, and he knew that. Like, for instance, it was my idea, like, to start at the beginning of the school year, because that's when parents would start looking for the flutes. But I knew what sites to go to. I knew where to read reviews about them and to see how much they were selling for elsewhere, and what kind of flute it was, and blah, blah, blah. And I really didn't know anything about flutes, so anyway, I sold his flute. That's it. Now he wants me to look for a tenor sax. Like, dude. Or his other kid. So, I'm actually going to talk to a girl I know who plays sax and get some advice from her, but I'm going to do that later. Everyone wants to know, when I saw the commercial with Republican tax cuts and the president who cares about you, do you fall off your chair laughing? Would have had a heart attack if I saw that. You know, that's one of the things that makes me curse the TV. Because I curse at TV a lot. So right here, I went with the yellow, and then I realized I didn't like the yellow. And I went with gray, but I still think I should have made the gray a lot lighter. Sometimes I like to start off with a darker gray and then take the clumpy and go over with lighter and just give it a real actual painting, messy look. And Aaron, oh yeah, talk about the last cartoon with the graveyard with Trump in it. Aaron said it wasn't that obvious, but she saw tons of paper towel ones, as I predicted. But you know what? After I said that, I saw one. Another cartoonist do the same idea of the graveyard with Trump blaming them for making him look bad. I saw another one. Saw two. Now, one of them was from a cartoonist who does a lot of obvious cartoons. I mean, he's a nice guy and everything, and I wouldn't say his work's bad. But his was the first one, and I saw it. And I was like, oh my god, I had the same idea as that guy. And then the second one was someone who I think is one of the best in the business. So I was like, okay, maybe it's not that bad. He thought of it. Though right now he's probably doing the same thing. He might see that he had the same idea as me, and he's going, oh no, I had the same one as that guy. Though in the past, this guy, the one whose work I really, really respect, he has written me before about how he's about to do an idea, and he saw that I did it, and so he let it go, and I've done the same thing to him. I'm like, oh, you beat me, you scooped me. But anyway, so yeah, I think it might have been a little obvious, and I hate that. And Aaron's wondering if somebody's going to count the gravestones, and Robert's taking it up. Robert, for some reason, talked about the game of bridge. It's probably the best known card game that has a trump suit, except when no trip is declared. Hard to get the number of trips that way usually. I don't know anything about bridge. I've never played it. I don't. I know how to play 21 because it's easy. You only need to count to 21. Very, very simple. You know what? Just gotta know what the cards are. And I played like poker and typically Texas Hold'em. So. And I've never been in a high stakes poker. I've never done it in a casino. I've just done it with friends and stuff where, you might walk out with $30 or something. And you go on, it's like a budget. Okay, if I lose $20 tonight, I'm mostly, it's a night of fun, hanging out with your friends and drinking beer and eating potato chips or whatever. I used to have poker parties at my house, and I'd make my world famous chili, which I haven't done it forever. So I can cook, people, believe it or not. I'm actually a decent cook. My number one thing is, which I haven't done in a couple of years, is my gumbo. I make the world's best gumbo. And then of course Robert and I were talking about so doesn't anyone make him look bad. That's kind of like the whole point that I was going for there with that one. Robert counted 91 tombstones, Now, of course, he says he's not a professional at counting stuff in a cartoon. That's Kenta. But we're going to take your word for it, Robert, because I think you're right. I think you're up to the task. It kind of amazes me. If I think about how many, like, when you said how many people are in that crowd, if I think about that beforehand, like, okay, like I had to draw that many, like I have to draw like 150 people right now, it would be like looking at a mountain and going, oh, I gotta climb that. I think I'm just gonna go to sleep instead, or I'll do something else. So I can't think about that kind of stuff when I do that kind of stuff. Just don't think about it. Just do it. Just dive in. That's what other cartoonists tell me all the time about, oh, I hate the crowd scenes, And I tell them they're actually pretty easy. You just accept it and do it. Put on some headphones and play music and just shut everything else out. That's what I do. Do the same thing with drawing grass. Just bad. Thank you for coming by today. Happy Saturday. Hope you dig the cartoon. Hope you dig the video. Hope you dig the sloppy guitar playing. And come back on Monday. Yes, we're done. I'm taking tonight off. Bye-bye.